Rob comes from the great city of Stallion Station, Colorado. Rob asks, "How many?"
Goes right through there.
What's that?
The train. Right through there.
The train does go through. He asks, "How many of the floors have to be level?" Well, look, you gotta have you. None of the floors in our house are level.
No, zero.
So
zero. But you didn't ask how many of the floors are level, which would be none. You asked how many have to be level.
Yeah. The answer to that is two.
Two.
I mean, two of the floors have to be level.
Use your brain, and you can see about that one.
And so, yeah. So I mean, that's a really simple question. It's like asking how many sides does a triangle have to have, and obviously, a triangle only has to have two sides, and you don't. That's the same answer to this question. It only has to have two floors that are level. So yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks for that question. It's not a hard one, but
yeah, I mean, not all the questions we get are very challenging, but that's because we're experts, and that's why they're asking us, right?
I don't have a laminated card, but I do have a card.
Yeah, and we do have a truck that we both drive with our names on it.
It says Addy and Andy. It's written in a way that you can't tell which name you're supposed to read first. So if we get out and people are like, "Oh, Andy and Addy," we say, "Obviously you don't."
Yeah, right. Stan Pinto asks the last question for this portion. Stan Pinto asks, first of all, he's from Whispering Pan Flutes, Wyoming.
Hello.
Never been there. I've heard a lot about it, though.
Yeah, it's noisy.
He asks, if the roof were on the floor, would it be a roof or a floor?
Well, I think you answered the question yourself.
Yep.
If the roof were on the floor, then the roof would be on the floor. It wouldn't become the floor. This isn't transubstantiation, which we're also experts on.
Yeah, Stan, I mean, you may be new to this game. That's fine. We all have to start somewhere. But
when I was new at Monopoly, I just bought everything. I bankrupted myself right away, so I had a lot of property, but I didn't have a lot of liquid assets. Which was a big problem for me when I was playing against friends and neighborhood chums. So
yeah, and in this case, Stan's just sort of, it appears it's one of these questions that appears to be a good question on the face of it, but it's kind of a
pseudo question.
It's kind of a pseudo question, and there's actually a good book that I read about this. Called "If Roofs Were Floors," by a guy named Ludwig Wittgenstein, and
some guys told me about him when I got out of my car one time.
Yeah, we were going to a store.
We were going to the store to see about the different colors, and then they said, "Hey, we know that you should think about this." And they told us about it, so I guess you read it, and I didn't, because
I read it right away. I mean, I take all recommendations. I spend every day of my life reading this stuff, but that's just me.
I've been doing a lot of push-ups lately. That's my thing.
Yeah, he does a lot of push-ups, and and I do a lot of cooking. So
it's really a very odd couple here.
Yeah. God, you wouldn't believe it. But let's, we'll save that for another time.
That's right. That's a funny thing to think about.
Thanks, Stan. Thanks for the question. So that should answer all of your burning questions about how to build a cabin. We hope this helps you. We built a cabin. I built half of it, and Andy built half of it with these.
With these right here.
These right here.
We got 10 of them each. That's 20 of them. Yeah, 20-ish of them.
Yeah. So.
Thanks. In the post-production process, we hope to edit this video into 2 separate videos. I don't know how that works, so here's the second part of the video. It's coming up right now, so hold on to your hats, boys and girls. We're going to be talking to you a little bit about relationships and if you are in a relationship, if you're not if you're in one, but if you've ever been in one and you're not anymore, and then you want to be in one again, or you've never been in one and you want to be in one for the first time, and you ask a young man or young lady, depending on your preference, out on a date, there are a number of things that you maybe should talk about, and we're gonna talk about those things with you right now. We're gonna answer some of the questions that you might have for your potential mate when you're out together on a date interview. So we're we're gonna do those right now.
Okay.
Hey, Addy, what sort of relationship are you looking for?
I'm looking for a relationship where I can do all the talking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like these relationships where the other person talks a lot, because who cares?
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's. I really think that I could see myself with you.
Shh. What do you think is the biggest mistake that women make in their relationships?
It's probably adding mistakes. They get all the work right, but then right at the final step, when they're adding everything up, and then they're going to go mark it into the answer box, they make an adding mistake, like 7 + 4 = 12.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. So probably adding mistakes are the biggest mistakes.
7 + 4.
You'll get there.
Okay.
Okay. What are the qualities of your ideal relationship?
Mostly sensory qualities. I really like the way it feels,
Mm-hmm.
like when he or she touches me
Mm-hmm.
on the nose, and it makes that little tickle. That's what I like about being in a relationship. Ideally, I would be touched on the nose 6 times a day.
It's a nice round number.
It's once before and once after each meal.
Mm-hmm. 3 meals.
And that's all I really require. That, just touch me on the nose and don't talk.
Mm-hmm.
So Andy, have you ever had your heart broken?
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how to address this.
Okay. Well, you can. Do you want to skip it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What scares you the most about opening your heart to your partner?
The big problem with opening my heart to my partner is that I don't want her to see that I have such a big heart.
Mm-hmm.
When she sees that I have a real big heart, sometimes she gets scared and says,
Because your heart is actually it's actually larger than
"Oh,
most
right,
people's
yeah,
hearts.
yeah." So I actually have it's called super heart, and it's real big. And if I open it, God, who knows what's going to come out of that thing.
That is so sad.
So I just don't do it. And then my therapist says, "Well, you gotta open your heart sometimes." And I say, "What did you not read my record? I got an enlarged heart. I got a super heart, and it's
I got your autobiography.
It's got
right
stuff
there.
in it, And I think therapists just see too many patients these days. I think that's the problem, really.
Yeah, it's there's no division of labor anymore.
Yeah. Has any book or movie made an impact on you?
No. Duh. No.
Okay.
What is the most annoying thing that someone could do to you?
The most annoying thing that somebody could do to me is to try to stimulate me sexually. I just don't like it. I don't, you get that weird feeling when it happens.
When they
like
use that voice.
Yeah, and when they they do the little hand thing, and then it, I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, I get it. We shouldn't. Yeah.
If you could have any job in the world, what would it be?
Trash man.
Okay.
I don't get up as early in the morning as I would like to, and I just really feel that I'm not part of a crew. I feel that my life is really a lonely one, so I think that being up in the morning, being part of a crew, um, achieving a goal for the common good, these are all things that I'd like to do. So I'd like to be a waste disposal management expert.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I mean, that sounds great.
Did you know that about me?
I didn't know that about you, but
these are good questions.
Sometimes things about us will come out on the video that we don't even know about each other.
The video isn't just for you; it's also for us. Sometimes we have a hard time seeing each other, even though we're face to face.
I'm blind in my right eye,
so that's why I sit over here.
Yeah.
What do you like to do for fun?
I don't like to have a lot of fun.
Right.
I think life's not about having fun. I think having fun is it's something that you can do, something you can do later. You know, when you're living your life, you better be getting stuff done. You better be making bank. And I make a lot of bank, and that's what I do. I make money. You know, I sell stock. I write books. I mean, I just do all kinds of stuff, and none of it's fun, and I hate it.
That's a great answer.
Okay, good. What's the biggest mistake that people make on a first date?
I think people expect too few gifts on a first date. So
that's so right.
The last time that I was on a first date, I brought the heart with the chocolate and the flowers. I also brought balloons, and I brought a mariachi band, and I also brought a small dog with furry everything, furry parts.
They like those so much.
And I don't think that she was expecting that. She was expecting too few gifts, and they were all gifts that were they were especially. It was a first date, and they were all gifts that were especially for her, especially for her personality type. That I learned about on Match.com. But so I haven't heard from her yet, and I think it's just the only reason that I haven't heard from her again because the day went so well is just because she didn't expect enough gifts. She expected too few.
Yeah,
so I think that's
right.
Probably the major mistake that people make on dates.
No, I totally agree with you.
What do you look for in a guy or girl?
I look for wires. For two reasons. For one, my friends one time played a practical joke on me. Okay. They set me up on a date. You know the type of women I like.
Yeah.
I like the women who are very stiff and
bored,
almost sort of like they're made out of wood.
Right. Not. They're not bored of you, but they are.
No. Yeah, they're very interested in me. But they're sort of bored-like, and they're kind of. But anyway, this one, I took her.
Inflexible is
yeah, so they can't move very well.